policy, and not the Iran-Contra drama, where as former national security advisor, he is one of the main actors. Still, his attorney Richard Beckler advised him not to answer questions. In fact, Beckler chastised the committee.
We did not think that it would be necessary for us to remind the subcommittee that the House of Representatives amended its rules in the wake of the McCarthy hearings of the 1950s to prevent a congressional hearing from degenerating into a public spectacle, the sole purpose of which is to force an individual to assert his constitutional privilege against self-incrimination.
With that, Chairman Jack Brooks shot back that Beckler was risking a contempt of Congress charge.
I want you to understand that your testimony is not a matter of right at this time. You're a long statement. It's a matter of indulgence of the subcommittee, and you're kind of crowding it.
I understand.
Just a little bit. And just a little bit more, and we're going to cut you off and let you go downtown and testify.
Then Poindexter took center stage for a performance he's made before. He refused to answer questions. 4 times he cited the Fifth Amendment.
Did you get the President's approval for the issuance of your October 29, 1986 policy directive?
Mr. Chairman, on advice of counsel, I decline to answer that question pursuant to my constitutional rights under the Fifth Amendment.
Admiral, is it your intent to exercise that Fifth Amendment privilege in reply to all the questions we might ask you?
That is correct, Mr. Chairman.
The spotlight shifted to members of the committee, who offered a bipartisan chorus of criticism.
I believe that Congress has every right to inquire into the activities of all operational offices of the government.
Well, Admiral Poindexter has an absolute right under court decision to invoke the Fifth Amendment. His doing so is a perversion of the spirit of the amendment.
You write this big script, and you play it to the hilt, and now you indicate to the committee that we're creating the spectacle. Well, sir, you have.
May I respond, Mr. Chairman, briefly?
No, I'm tired of hearing from you.
With that, they made their exit. This appearance was over, but the Iran-Contra investigation is still unfolding, and John Poindexter will continue to have a featured role. Bob Franken, CNN, Capitol Hill.
And we'll have more on the former National Security Advisor's day before Congress later in our news hour.
8 people were injured today when a driver lost control of his car and plowed into a southwest side schoolyard. William Lazo told police he was about to drive away from St. Simon's School when his gas pedal stuck. Lazo says the car suddenly accelerated, ramming into 2 other vehicles. No one was seriously injured in the accident. All but one of the victims were treated and later released at nearby hospitals. Police say Lazo cooperated with them and did not appear intoxicated or otherwise impaired. They are, however, still investigating to determine the exact cause of that crash.
Fire officials tonight say smoking in bed caused a fire that killed a man on the city's north side early this morning. The blaze broke out in the second-floor apartment shortly after 4 o'clock this morning. The body of the unidentified man was found by firefighters on a burning mattress. Officials believe the man had been drinking before he fell asleep with a lit cigarette in his mouth. There were no smoke detectors in the building. Meanwhile, a fire caused extensive damage to a restaurant in far northwest suburban Libertyville. The roof on the Yan Hunan Inn collapsed. No one was injured. A firewall between the restaurant and other shops prevented the blaze from spreading to other buildings. Firefighters from 14